Good morning, everyone. Long time no video. If this is you guys' first time watching the watch list, my name's Doc. The way that these videos work is that you guys leave a bunch of requests in the Discord, in the clinic, which is absolutely free to the public. If you're not in there, check out the link in the description box below. But anyways, yes, this is the altcoin watch list. You guys select and choose which altcoins you want me to cover. I throw them on a list. I chart them on Sundays. I release these videos on Mondays, and we get to find a bunch of gems or potential gems to trade for the week. Hopefully ones with narratives and high volume. I'm not really a fundamental guy. I'm just a trader. So you guys bring me the coins that you like. We make some game plans and we go from there. So it's been about 20 days since my last video, so there is a little bit to cover. I've been on vacation. I've just simply been trading whatever coins are hot at the moment. FTM had a lot of volume and a lot of volatility, so I was trading FTM. AI coins had a lot of volume and volatility. I was trading the AI coins. And lastly, the LSD coins, the LDOs. Same situation, narratives, volume, volatility. That's what I love. And since I was on vacation, it was pretty easy to manage positions, just basically using the H4 trend, some H4 price action, and you know, didn't have to pay too close attention. But yeah, it went well, and I hope you guys had an awesome February so far. I'm ready to get back into these charts, get back in these videos, get back on schedule for these weekly videos. So without further ado, let's get into it. Actually, before we get into it, let me just remind you guys that if you guys want my trend indicator for free, this is the H4 trend, this is the daily trend we have on the daily chart. We use it on the H4 chart. This is my trending asset indicator. It's a combination of a few EMAs. I've created a cloud. I had a friend make this for me. If you guys want access to this trend indicator that I'm going to probably be talking about a lot in this video, just all you got to do is sign up to Bybit using the link in the description box below that uses my reference link, and deposit and start trading on Bybit. Basically, if you have an account, just swap it over. If you're already on Bybit, let me know and we'll find a way to get you guys on my reference link, and I'll throw you guys a trend indicator for free. I also have the H4 100 and 200, the daily 100 and 200. I've been using those as well. So if you guys want those, for simplicity's sake, it's just a click of a button. It stays on whatever time frame you're using. It'll stay on the dailies. Same thing for the H4 100, 200. If you guys want those, let me know. All right, guys, let's get into the video. Starting off, as we always do, with a little bit of context. We always want to start off with a little bit of context. The DXY, the dollar index, is the inversely correlated asset. It's kind of our risk on, risk off metric. When we have good signals, when we can combine that with the ES, we have good signals, we can kind of make quality plans for what our precious internet money coins are going to do, right? So DXY, we've been looking for this downtrend reversal for weeks. We finally got it. Now, where are we now? We said that 105, this 105, 106 region is going to be the region to overcome for DXY bulls. To find buyers above this, that is going to be the momentum shift that really causes risk off in the markets. As they always say, first test, best test. So what we're coming to right now, this weekly box, right, this weekly supply zone, this is the area where bulls tried to hold the line the first time down. After this big collapsing weekly candle, we tried to hold the line around 105 and 106. So that's this green box that's been highlighted here. That is my weekly supply zone. Getting above this box and finding buyers above this box creates the breaker setup that causes you to get a continuation, which gives us a bunch of risk off. But as I said earlier, first test, best test. So what I'm seeing here, what I would speculate to occur, if this was a 5-minute chart, if this was a 10-minute chart, whatever the case may be, I would treat this play the same way. As we're underside testing this, we are going to look for a specific kind of point of interest, some kind of price action in this zone to get bearish on. So if you're bearish on DXY, at least short term, right? What we're looking for, what I'm seeing here is this key swing high at 105. So in the event of an SFP, daily or weekly, right? Price travels above 105, fails to close above it, starts closing below it, that is going to be a risk on signal for Bitcoin, Ethereum, ES, etc., etc. And just, spoiler alert, as I actually, not spoiler alert, we talked about this the last two videos. I've been saying since FOMC, since February 1st, that I believe that Bitcoin is kind of in distribution mode. Select altcoins that are really strong are going to continue performing well, but I believe that the bulk or the overwhelming percentage of the Bitcoin rally is already booked in the cards, and the way that we get to 28K is going to be through lower prices, to really testing support, which we haven't done because we just blew right through it. Okay, back to DXY. Like I said, swing fail 105, that is going to be the risk on signal for Bitcoin and everything. That's what we want to see when we're covering the altcoins in this video. We're going to want to see which altcoins move the best when DXY gives us a risk on signal. So that's all we're looking for DXY. The confluence with ES is simple. As I've been saying since November, December of last year, I believe that ES is range bound. If we come to the monthly, I talked about how this 4120 level is the key monthly SR. We basically spent the last 12 months trading around this level. First, dropping to it from above, trying to hold it as support, eventually slamming into it, breaking below it, holding it as resistance, deviating above it, unable to do anything with this level. We came back here. Now we've been up here again for another 4 months, unable to close above it. That is a pretty bearish signal for the monthly as far as I'm concerned. Just to state now, I'm a little disappointed. My bias was on this rally that ES would at the very least, take out this swing high that was set back in August. You guys can see that I have an alert here. I've been waiting for it. We got very close, but no cigar, right? And secondly, there is an inefficiency here on ES, right? If we not on ES, sorry, excuse me, on SPY, which is the trust that has the options trading, right? So these gaps, I was speculating for these gaps to get filled and that liquidity get tagged. I'm pretty disappointed that we didn't get that signal yet, and we just traveled just shy of it and sort of distributed for the last 3 weeks. I'm not going to fade that. I'm not going to say, okay, we're still going to turn around and grab those from now. I think you have to come down, put in a little bit more support once again before we can aim to attack the upside liquidity. So for now, let's go back to ES. For now, the way that I have this charted, the way that I've had this charted for a better part of a year, is that this October, August EQ, which is the swing high, swing low between our August high of last year, our lows at 3,500, our highs at 4,300, the mid-range comes right around here, around 39.10, right? You guys can see the respect that we've had for this level, both as support and resistance. At the very least, as we get to this zone, I'm expecting a small bounce. Now, what that bounce does is going to be, it's going to be hard to predict. When we get down here, are we going to get rejected by this now supply zone, right? That could be all we get. The confluence here is DXY takes 105, ES bounces around 3,900, ES bounce at 3,900 just caps you again at 4K, DXY, let's pull it up so we can visualize what I'm talking about. All DXY does, it swings fails here, it finds support right around 103, 104, and it starts driving up again. That could be the only remaining risk on that we have for crypto, because we've had quite the rally. We have been pretty much up only since the start of the year. December 30th, right? We were at 16.3K. We traveled all the way to 25K, about a 50% rally. If you mark it low to high, over 50%. I think the best case scenario that you get for Bitcoin here, is just another tap of like 24,000, maybe 25,000, maybe the very best you get this liquidity at 25.3. But I'm not expecting too much more. I've been saying for a while now, I don't think 28K is in the cards. I think price is up here just to lure exit liquidity. A lot of people are probably longing the top here, buying the top here, thinking they're going to get the free gap fill. This is the same thing that I heard up here. I heard it up here. I heard it all summer long. I heard it all of last year. We started hearing it again up here. Well, we're on Bitcoin now, so let's just talk about it. I think the way that you get 28K is once you start finding organic buyers, meaning spot buyers above 23K. This light green band that I have marked here, that I've had marked for the better part of last year, since August of last year when we broke down, right? So we had a higher high, higher low structure on Bitcoin. We had bullish market structure on Bitcoin in the summer of last year in the merge rally. We have this initiation of momentum to the downside occurring right around 23.3, 23.5. Look at the velocity of selling that occurred from this point. So when we finally flip this zone bullishly, when every time we attack this zone, buyers come in to defend this level, that opens up 28K. And if we just look at what's been going on over here, we've been rejected by it a few times. We've deviated above it. We tried tagging it once. We couldn't do anything with that. Broke down, right? We broke down. We found support at the H4 100, 200, right? I believe. This is not right. I think this is set to SMAs for now. Let me switch that real quick. Okay, that's better. So we found support at the H4 200, right? Confluent with prior demand. We just sat on top of that demand and we made another push higher. Very bullish. We dropped down to 23.3. This got me immensely bullish. For a second there, I was like, okay, wait a minute. We're going. Let's buy. Let's long the hell out of this. So I long the hell out of Ethereum here, speculating that Ethereum may outperform Bitcoin on this leg. Ethereum has what I believed a really good shot at making it to 2K. So I longed Ethereum on this dip right here. And you guys can see how pathetic the move was afterwards. Pretty damn pathetic. That was the area for bulls to come in. What it occurred since then, right? We did nothing but take the high. All we did was bearishly take the high. Where's the trend line? Here we go. We swing failed the high. Pretty ugly reversal signal, sell off, bounce again at the merge rally point of breakdown. Pretty crappy bounce. All you did is put in supply at the floor right here. Anytime you guys see price action on a support level, just doing this after multiple bounces, so very strong bounce, weaker bounce, weaker and weaker and weaker bounces, you can expect a breakdown. That's essentially what I expected. I flattened out all positions. As soon as this started occurring, I was not very happy with this. I was looking at a couple coins like MATIC and whatnot, which we'll get into shortly, expecting something. But this kind of price action right here for several hours doing nothing, just sitting on support, is not very bullish in my opinion. Look at the breakdown that occurred. Again, we found support at the H4 200. We're pushing back into this same merge rally point of breakdown. I don't know if I've tweeted it, but I've been talking about it in Discord. If you guys aren't in Discord, check that out. Link in the description box below. That my idea was that if Bitcoin got back to this level, this H4 supply, that is a short trigger. That is going to be a short trigger, and reclaiming this level, which I'm calling the point of breakdown along here, right? Reclaiming this is a long signal. So this red box for me is going to be what I'm going to be playing off of and paying attention to on Bitcoin. What I would be surprised is if Bitcoin got back above this, that's going to open up another shot at 25K. That's going to be where I'm going to be longing. You put in a very strong impulsive candle above here, maybe to 24.4. I'll long whatever pullback you give me, and I'll play defense there. My invalidation is going to be if you revert the entire impulse candle, and we're going to aim for higher highs. Right, that's going to be how I'm going to be playing Bitcoin out of this current scenario that we're in. But just to recap Bitcoin, again, I believe it's in a distributive mode until proven otherwise. Once we start finding buyers and defending 23.3, I think that's what opens up 28K. Now, just to quickly do Ethereum, it's more of the same. You guys can see the kind of idea that I have here on Ethereum right now. I'm debating entering this. I haven't entered this yet, but it's more of the same, right? Now, Ethereum for me really let me down in two fashions, and we'll just talk about it for the fun of it. I was willing to risk all of January's profits, and if you guys have been following me, you guys know that I had the best month trading ever in the futures markets in January of this year, and I was willing to risk all of those profits to long Ethereum off 1440 for this leg. I had the utmost conviction that this was going to occur. I was comparing it to July of last year, this kind of same structure breakdown into higher high, right? We're seemingly kind of putting in the same kind of price action, right? That's very, you can really draw a fractal of this price action right here. And, you know, maybe we do get that final leg, but I'm not going to be joining that final leg until you reclaim 1680, right? So anyways, getting a little distracted here. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a while since I've recorded, a little scatterbrained. So I was going to long this H4 demand. I was going to be longing this H4 demand. I got front run, unfortunately. What did I end up doing? Like I said, the same thing Bitcoin did. It broke out and it retested that 23.3 level. Look what Ethereum did confluently. Ethereum had a bullish market structure, higher highs and higher lows. This was the supply block highlighted in light green. This was the supply block that led to the breakdown. This broke market structure, right? So reclaiming this level for me was the long signal. That was what was confluent with that 23. This is the wrong chart. That 23.3 level, right? So right around here when Bitcoin tagged this is when I longed Ethereum. Find the exact same chart. I longed this. I started aiming. I said, okay, let's take out all these highs. Let's start taking out 1788. Let's travel towards 2K. Really unfortunate. Wasn't able to get that. I round tripped some profits. I closed when the H4 candle, when this H4 candle closed back underneath this range high, this 1680 high, the pre-FTX collapse high. That was my warning signal to get the hell out. And that's what I did. Looking at Ethereum right now, we can kind of get rid of this. This has served its purpose. Ethereum right now, what for me, I'm really I'm split. So that's why I'm not taking this trade. My initial thought was if it bounces, I'll take a short here. I'm not going to end up taking this short. What I want to do is see what Ethereum does at 1680 again. If it's able to reclaim this level, I will once again try to long and attempt to take it back up to 2K. But I believe this whole thing is showing a lot of weakness. It's putting in a whole lot of supply in this level. Why am I not ultimately bearish though? It hasn't lost its trends, right? The minute it loses these trends, like it gave us a pretty big fake out here, and I was expecting that. But when we start losing these trends and holding them as resistance, that's your reversal signal. That's when it's time, in my opinion, to get bearish on Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. Whatever asset is going underneath and holding these H4 200s confluent with the H4 trend, right? If we've got conflicts of losing the H4 200, you know, we're traveling underneath all of these, that is going to be the signal to be, that is me the signal to, you know, high time frame reversal signals. That's what's going to work for my system. Not much more to say on Ethereum right now. Like I said, I'm not going to have an actionable signal in this chop. I really don't want to take positions in here anymore. You break out here from, you break out above 1680. I will defend 1680 once again. That's going to be about it for Ethereum. Pretty disappointing. All right, guys. Time to get into the altcoins, what you guys are all here for. You guys know my system. If you don't know my system, I start from high time frame. I analyze from the weekly, the daily. I throw on some moving indicators, which is the daily 100 and the daily 200. I see what they're doing. Sorry, these H4s. The daily 100, the daily 200. Above the daily 100, the daily 200. Bullish, below, bearish. That's pretty much how that is how my system goes. Sorry. So, starting off with FXX, I believe, you know, we've been covering FXX since the start, since $6 down here. We've been longing it since 630. I believe, honestly, whichever way this breaks out of this consolidation is just going to be, oh, duh, obviously, in retrospect. But I don't want to long the middle of this. I don't want to short the middle of this. I don't know which way this is going to break. I'd rather see two things. Now, number one on FXX, since this is consolidated, or this is a range-bound market, you honestly do not want to fade the way this breaks out. So if this breaks down, if this completely breaks down, right, you're pretty bearish on it. But how can we be bearish price action-wise if you have a long-term, like 6-month range, you have a supply block, you have your 100s and 200s, and all you're doing is prices retesting down here. So what you can do on FXX, frax, when it comes down, if it breaks down, this could be your long, with your invalidation being price acceptance below here. What does acceptance look like? Daily candle closes below, or H4 candle closes below, and then bounces, which then reject your moving averages and reject your levels. That is going to be acceptance below. How do you get caught out of deviations? If price reclaims. Price reclaims, you can get back in long. This is how you manage your risk. Try to take very small losses on these entries, 1% loss or something that you can manage, so that you don't give up a big chunk of change, right? Invalidations, right? I talk about this all the time in Discord. You guys should be pretty familiar with what I talk about in price action invalidations, how I use supply and demand boxes and zones and breaker boxes and whatnot of how to get into trades, and I'll probably be talking about it the rest of this video. But yeah, just to talk about FXS is very hard for me to say. If it breaks down, that could be a long signal, right? Where would you have trouble then? After it bounces, all it could do is get rejected by the same supply, right? So it'd be a scalp trade. How do you long this? Again, it breaks out, right? You defend the breakout, you aim for higher prices. What else can we do with FXS? So let's check the daily 100, 200. It's just consolidating right on top of this, right? The sad part about FXS is that it had so much momentum. Broke out, supply block, reconsolidated, broke out, tried to hold it as support, broke down, re-entered range. My system, price action based, this is pretty bearish. If you have a range breakout that drops back into range, that is naturally pretty bearish, but it's hard to be bearish on an asset that has a narrative such as, ETH Shanghai and whatnot, and that is just simply holding the same 960 level. Could we see a breakdown into a range reclaim, into a breakout, into a retest? Of course. That could be your classic fake out into breakout scenario, right? Cleanse all the longs that are sitting in here, create entry liquidity where people are puking their bags, large interests are filling their bags, and then you get a reversal. It's very hard to plan 3 steps ahead on what something that's just consolidating like this is going to do. All you can do is make if-then scenarios. So I've listed a bunch of these if-then scenarios for you guys. If breakdown, take long. If re-entry into zone, cut. If then reclaim, long. Make this then your new invalidation. What else? If breakdown and you miss it and re-entry, that's your long trigger. Aim for range high, right? You can play it a range high. You can play it in a range bound manner. If breakout, defend the breakout. Aim for the next highs, right? So multiple ways to play a range. Not much actionable signal on frax at the moment, so we're just gonna leave it as it is. LDO is a little bit stronger, a little bit easier to tell on LDO. So LDO, range bound for a very long time, very clean breakout, retest, push forward. When it broke down from here, I did take a long 270, something like that, 272, around that area, sold around 310, 308, I believe. Pretty clean price action, really strong respect for these high time frame levels. I wouldn't be bearish on LDO at this point until it loses 264. That is going to be the short signal for LDO to start cleaning up all these higher lows. For now, like we talked about, ETH Shanghai, very strong coin, probably going to be continuing the daily 100, 200s, blasted above them. What it's been responding to are the H4 100 200s. You guys can see the respect that it's had for these as recently as yesterday. Yesterday you could have taken a very strong entry on the H4 100. Yeah, not much else to say. Very strong asset. If this again comes down, you can look for another entry on the H4 100, aim for higher prices. Price action wise, we're finding some resistance around the ETH top, right? The ETH merge top, right? So that is currently what we're fighting a breakout of. But a lot of pushes. Every time it drops, we're finding buyers, and we're pushing above these levels. Very bullish signs. The natural place for LDO to go right here, 390. So That's it. That's all we're going to talk about on LDO. Atom. Atom is losing its H4 100 200s. It's starting to look a bit bearish. The place for me on Atom to bid is going to be 1180. 1180 is the cleanest weekly level. On some of these alt charts do not have weekly levels this clean. I mean, take a look at this. Oh boy, take a look at this. Right. So, for me, on a high time frame perspective, I will be bullish on Atom above 1160, bearish below 1160. Use since it's a weekly level, use weekly candle closes to build your bias on Atom. As far as lower time frame goes, let's take a look. Are we still in a trend? We're losing our trends. Daily 100 200, tapping daily 100 200. So this could be your ulterior, and let's alternative long scenario right here. This is actually very clean whenever you see price respond to daily 100 200s. Let's get rid of that for a minute. And then let's take a look at the volume profile. If we have a high volume node right here, again, high volume node confluent with daily 100 200s. How long have we been in a bearish downtrend? We have been down for 22 days. We've been pretty much dropping off for about 22 days, the entire month of March, the entire month of February, back down into the daily 100 200s. Now, why is this different than the last time? The last time you didn't have enough clearance above these moving indicators to be able to comfortably test them as support. This time you did. This time we had about a 20-25% cushion and buffer for price to drop down below. We already tapped it once. We set a lower high. We're tapping it again. Probably a place, if you want to low time frame trade, you can build trades around this. Now let's get rid of this. We know that they're there. Look at some local price action. You've got a low right here that Atom swing failed, right? You can build around these levels. Right? Here's a low. Here's a low. Let's take this, let's take this as your high. This is our new range. Prices responded pretty well to this. Now let's pull up some trends, the H4 trend. Okay, so the way that I would play Atom from here, something like this. This is your new invalidation. You don't want to see price drop below this. It's tagging the H4, the daily 100 200. That's your support level. 1250 has already, why do I have 1250 here? Oh, 1250 is the bounce high after the FTX collapse. Found buyers above it. That created their push up to 15s. We're retreating back to that level. You really don't want to see price close below this. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so now we got a lot of confluence here on Atom. If you want to long somewhere in this area, around 1270s, 1260s, whatever you can get into, what you're hoping for is that price can reclaim this H4 downtrend. So let's just make this our H4 downtrend. Price goes like this. We reclaim it. That opens up price all the way back up to mid-range 1380. So this is kind of what your trade turns into. It turns into a 2R pretty much based on how well you can enter. So if you enter down, let's say 1270, that gives you a 4R. If you enter up here where price is right now, that's a 2R. Basically, try to get your entry as close to your invalidation as possible. That's pretty much what we're going to talk about on Atom for today. No longer trending, in my opinion. More of a consolidative market, losing its daily trends, but it doesn't respond well to its daily trend, actually. H4 100, losing H4 100 200. Yeah. Atom is something that I don't often trade, because of how sloppy the price action is. It's usually very, very sloppy. But I've given you some actionable signals to take on the H4, some things to think about on the weekly chart, and some moving indicators to look at. So that's going to be done with Atom. That's our first altcoin. We have a lot to go. We're 30 minutes into this video. Let's start to go a little bit quicker. Aura. Not a lot to go off of. This is something someone requested. Let's see if there's any more price action to go off of. Okay, Mexi has more, I believe. Okay. Very illiquid on MEXC. Guys, this is not something that I can chart very comfortably. Okay, here's what I can give you. Okay, about a 6-7 month downtrend, broken, reclaimed our H4 100 200s, consolidating. I'd look for entries if you're long right around 73 to 79. That is the area for bulls to defend. Let's see if it's responding to its daily. It has decent respect for the daily trend as well. You can also combine that with the $79 level. So that is the area for you to defend on Aura. I can't really give you high side targets. Excuse me. This looks like in a liquid coin. It's probably a lower market cap coin. I don't know what it does, what it is, what narrative it's in at the moment, unless, let's see, did anyone, or LSD, liquidity flywheel, just recorded highest bribe, or I don't know what any of that means. Looks like it has a bullish narrative going for it. These are the trends to be aware of. Make sure that it's holding these trends. You lose these trends, that is a signal of weakness. For now, looks great. If you're in Aura, those are your warning signals. Your daily trend and your H4 100 200, right? Dropping below those, pretty strong bearish signal. AVAX. AVAX we covered weeks. I remember this one, week 3, week 4, week 2, something of the watch list. I talked about this specific zone on AVAX. Someone requested AVAX and it was just tagging this $21 level. I highlighted it talking about this is the same level that's confluent with the Bitcoin 23.3. This is your merge rally point of breakdown. Very skeptical. I was very skeptical at this level, and look at what AVAX has done ever since. If you want to see higher targets for AVAX, you have to clean this level, find buyers, and that's really going to open stuff up. That's going to open up $38, $40. Until then, what is this looking like? This is looking like, you know, SFP. Let's look at the weekly. Not really an SFP. This is just simply looking like a lost trend. You have a very strong trend turning into a consolidative, becoming consolidative, excuse me. Another point of weakness to notice is that Bitcoin did this. Bitcoin put in a high, put in a low, and put in a higher high. Look at what AVAX did. It put in a high, put in a low, and put in a lower high. Relative weakness, not an altcoin you want to focus on. Focus on stronger altcoins. Okay. BAL, don't know what you are either. Oh, you got a little bit of price action to work with. That is nice. I appreciate that. Okay, so it is in accumulation. The most bullish thing I can say about BAL is that it never challenged the June lows. It never challenged the June lows even after FTX. Look at this FTX collapse. That means people did not have that many coins to sell. Strong hands, a sign of strong hands, a sign of maybe there's no one buying this, so there's no one to sell it. Let's mark out some levels here. Okay, pretty range bound. I would say if you're bullish on this coin, you think that it's going to do something next cycle, even if you're just trying to aim for maybe the $34 level. It's a really nice level to aim for next bull market if this has some kind of bullish narrative, some bullish catalyst going for it. This would be a coin that I would say this is just an accumulation. Don't worry too much about price action down here. Try to accumulate as low as possible. No brainer. Everyone knows that. And don't worry too much about local price action right now, unless you're trying to micromanage your accumulation down here. I'm assuming this is more of a coin that you're trying to accumulate for next bull market. That's just my assumption. If not, and you're just trying to trade it, well, let's pull up some moving averages. Let's see what we can tell. Very nice signal that it's clearing the daily 100, 200, dropping below this big sign of weakness, probably going to revert all the way back down to $5. Obvious draw level is about 839, 840, right like I managed, right. Wait, let's see if this is better. Nope. No. we're going to stick with something up here, right around $8. You're right around there, right? So if you've accumulated a good amount in the $4, $5 level and you want to risk off, it's not a bad idea to risk off around $8. If you're really bullish on this asset, well, continue holding, try to accumulate lower. Your high side target in the bull market is probably going to be $34 if it manages to get there, if it has a narrative for it. Okay, next coin on the list, Blur. Very, very funny, Crypto New Bro. I know you just put this in here to troll me. I know, we all know, everyone in the clinic knows that you've been slaying this coin. The trophy room is basically your Blur trophy room at this point, seeing how many times you've scalped this for, I don't know what your risk tolerance is. I'm assuming you're at least making 1R returns per trade. But GG's to you, brother. Not much to say about Blur. The only thing I'd like to point out is that it may follow a similar sort of fractal. Maybe it does the APT thing, right? APT kind of did something similar where it launched, it had a little bit of a rally, right? It consolidated, had a little bit of a rally, sold off heavily, like tried to hold the I don't know what, for lack of better terms, ICO price. I don't know what the term I'm supposed to use here, the listing price as support. Big breakdown, accumulation period, right? Accumulated for months, I'd say, maybe a month, right? And then had a bull market. Maybe Blur ends up doing something similar, where it has your rally off of launch, tries to hold, you know, put in log real quick. Yeah, tries to hold maybe the listing price as support, which for now we're going to be calling the range lows. Maybe it breaks down underneath it. Maybe it puts in an accumulation range. When you start reclaiming these levels, maybe you get a second bull market that's much, much stronger. Something to look forward to on Blur if it occurs. Other than that, bro, I trust you. I think you know what you're doing. If you guys want to check out Crypto New Bro's trades, come check out the clinic. He's been absolutely slaying Blur for the past few weeks, ever since launch. Okay, quickly, I just want to mention on CANTO, coming to a very, very strong high time frame level. I know none of you guys suggested this, just something that I want to point out. This is the level to work around on CANTO. This is the level that you want to defend. If this is a full market cycle bubble pop, you can expect price to retrace pretty darn hard, maybe to 17 cents, maybe to this wick down here around 27 cents. If this is lost, I'd say it's pretty bearish. The way that you'd play this bullishly, right? Lose the level, maybe it doesn't retreat that hard, reclaim the level, that's a long signal, that's your second bubble, double bubble, echo bubble, whatever kind of thing. But yeah, this is pretty much your bubble pop that's occurring right now on CANTO. CANTO had its own bull market because of, I don't know, shitcoinery or whatnot, but coming to a very, very key high time frame level. Since it is a meme coin, since it is something that people like to pump and dump, maybe the next time it comes down to 20 cents, 17 cents, something like that, I will look to accumulate some CANTO, some spot CANTO, hold on to it for the next time that we're risk on. Who knows when that could be, but say you get an entry at 27 cents, nice comfy spot entry, maybe it just gets stuck at 53, you're still getting nearly a 2x in an echo bubble environment. Echo bubble I'm just using for fun because, yeah, you guys know why. All right, CRV, I quickly looked at this before I started recording. It doesn't look too bullish to me anymore. It actually looks very, very bearish. You had an accumulation, a breakdown. You put in, excuse me, sorry. You put in a distributive top, a second distributive top, and sold off pretty dramatically multiple days in a row. You're hovering around the prior support. That's multiple rejections at this level. This is your range high. This is a multiple time rejection, right around 120. If I was going to be bullish on this, I would allow it to break out. I would try to play the breakout on high time frames. Other than that, I'm going to let this do its thing. Or you could look to long this into a lower high, right? Not something I like the look of. I really don't like the way that this looks. I would be very shocked if it was able to recover from here and just do something like that. That, to be honest, to be quite frank, I would be absolutely shocked if that occurs. And if it does occur, whoever suggested this, if I shake you out of your position, I don't know. Call me out on it. Call me out on it. But yeah, not one that I like. I don't really like the way that this looks. The bullish case is simply that it's holding, once again, holding the daily 100, 200 band after being rejected from it for so long. Some people may look at this as bullish accumulation or reaccumulation, right? But I don't think, this sell-off signal doesn't really give me the confidence to say that, people are so ready to buy this and let it break out. Let's look at some lower time frames. Give me some actionable signals. Okay, on lower time frames, this is how I'd play CRV. This is your point of breakdown. If price does whatever it does, the minute it travels above here, I'm going to try to attempt to long this, holding this as support. That's your breaker setup. It looks something like this, right? That's your invalidation, is closing back below it. You aim for the next high, which is right around this here, 149. So you would get a long from about 118 to 149, pretty strong. And if that were to occur, in my opinion, that sets up the narrative of a high time frame market structure shift, right? Where you have lower highs and lower lows all the way down here. This would be putting in a weekly, hopefully a weekly close above about $1.24, right? That opens up the idea of, okay, this is your reversal signal. That's going to be a place to start really longing CRV for me. But right now, if you look at these weekly candles, they're still closing and being rejected by the $125 level. Pretty tough to be a bull just right now. But if you're looking to accumulate this and you have high conviction and you have, you really know something that I don't, you have an edge in CRV, this is not a bad place to be buying CRV. You're coming off of a big 25% drop. You're coming into support. You're coming into prior demand. Not a bad place to pick up some CRV. If you get rejected by this box right here, you know what to do. You can de-risk. If it reclaims the box and holds it as support, that's the blast off signal to start aiming for level to level, higher highs. That continues the trend that says, hey, look, we're out of this accumulation range. We're looking for a high time frame reversal. DYDX. I've covered this quite a bit. Everything's going according to plan. I'm not trading this perfectly, but it is responding pretty damn well. You have a long-term range, you have a breakout, retest of the range, rejected by this point of breakdown. Really hammer tested this the last 4 or 5 days amongst, Bitcoin FUD. Bitcoin was selling off. DYDX still held that range. This looks really damn strong to me. I'm going to look for another way to get into this. The high side target for me, again, is going to be around 390, taking out these highs. Let's look some local price action. What we can do, see where it's getting rejected by another point of breakdown, right? So you can play this a few ways. You can say reclaiming 296, right? Takes us back above these levels, right? We can try to long this area. That's a really strong signal. Dropping back below here is bearish. It's probably going to end up back at 255 once you clear 296. Long signal. Start aiming for higher highs. The H4 100, 200. I think you're holding these very well too, right? So very strong, very strong market in my opinion. I did take entries at 255. I did close them around 265, something like that. There was a lot of chop in here, and a lot of markets were chopping at support and losing support. MATIC, for instance, right? We'll get to MATIC in a minute, but DYDX, surprisingly, held very strong. Not one that I should have gotten shaken out on. I did get shaken out on this one. I'll be looking for an entry now down here around 275, 260, or higher above after you sweep 296. I'll try to get back in on the breaker setup there. EGLD, weak market. I looked at this one. I hadn't looked at this one in a very long time. It has not yet taken back the FTX collapse top. A lot of altcoins have at least traveled towards it. EGLD has not. EGLD had a narrative. It was outperforming the market in this in this stretch. It was resistant to a lot of crap that was going on, a lot of chop. It just kept putting in higher highs. It had, I don't know, a conference or something. Big breakdown, has been in the dumps ever since. Now it's just getting rejected by the high time frame mid-range and the daily 200, right? Sitting on H4 100 200s. If you want to long this, it's going to remind me of sushi. We'll get into sushi in a bit, but another market that's simply doing the same thing, coiling between the daily 100 200s. EGLD is going to be sort of, it is an underperformer at the moment. It's not one that I'm going to be playing until it breaks out. So you break, I defend. You break above the daily 200, you give me a narrative, you give me relative strength, you give me higher volume than the rest of the market, break above this level, I'll start defending the daily 200. We can aim for 69. ENS, same weekly point of breakdown that it's been rejected by for a very long time. Look at this weekly market structure. Look at this bullish weekly market structure off of the June lows, right? Very, very strong structure. This is the weekly point of breakdown, right? This is your FTX collapse. This is your reaccumulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on the 6 weeks in a row of getting rejected by the same weekly block. So how to play this? The minute it starts closing weeklies above this, you're going to be defending this level. You're going to be aiming for this high and ultimately $28. I think ENS starts trending really, really hard once you reclaim 1640 on the weekly. Even the daily should do it, right? This daily was one daily close above, followed by a daily close back below, right? On the daily, you could say, yeah, right now it just looks like a bearish retest, right? It looks like we came up to this level, we tested as resistance, we deviated above it, we bounced back below it, and now we're just bearishly back testing it. This is kind of the same price action that you're seeing on Ethereum and Bitcoin at the moment as well. Is it bearish back test? Is it going to be a breaker? We need price action to develop and allow us more information before we can start making actionable signals on ENS. Phil, Chinese coin, I think. I don't really want to comment on Phil, to be honest. This is really just, it's really strong pump and dump right now. It's a really shitty, crappy narrative that traders just made up out of the blue on Chinese coins. And I mean, I don't really know what to tell you about Phil. If this is in your risk tolerance, if this is something you want to long, more power to you. You're basically just playing bigger fool theory, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of crypto literally is bigger fool theory, but this one is just, we've ran out of AI narratives, ran out of ZK narratives, ran out of all these narratives. Let's just pump Chinese coins. So that's kind of like, a dog coin narrative as well. Like, you're just playing the pump and dump. And if you ask me, this is already played out. Price action wise, I've seen enough bubbles collapse to know that the top is probably in on Phil for now. If this is going to pump again, it's probably just going to create a lower high or get stuck or get congested in this area. It's probably going to break back down back to the $5 level. Not something I want to be bullish on, not something I want to be longing. If you want to, more power to you. FTM looks fantastic. My only thing is, why does this have to be FTM? Couldn't it be another coin? Couldn't it be another coin that looks this good? This looks just like DYDX, and I'm going to be looking for long entries as soon as possible. I missed the long entry down here, right, which was just retesting demand. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, a little bearish, right? And why am I a little bearish is because, like I talked about at the start of the video, looking at Bitcoin, looking at ES, looking at DXY, now's the time to be cautious. We just had about 40 days in a row of very, very strong moves. I don't want to be the guy that gives money back to the market playing a harder market after I just made a bunch of money playing a very easy market. But FTM, I want to play this into strength. The last candle, the last little move, the last little uptick into the breakdown was right here around 50 cents. If FTM since I missed the lows, what it could do. If it travels back down here, I can look for entries back down here. If it travels up here and creates a breaker, I'm going to defend that. That's a break in market structure. Lower highs all the way down. Here's your first higher high. You're going to be defending the potential higher low. You're going to be aiming for these relative equal highs. I already have them listed here for you, TP1 and TP2, both relative equal highs. 2 equal highs here, 2 equal highs up there. Ultimately, this structure on the daily, on the 12-hour, on the 4-hour, looks very bullish for continuation. Looks very, very bullish for continuation. Coming to this, it may just start doing something like this. And once it starts tagging these top levels, that's going to be the point of like, okay, are we going to SFP this and treat this as a range and come back down to 40? Or do we have the gusto to break out and test 87 cents and whatnot? But if you're looking for a position in FTM, if you're bullish on FTM, why not bid into the SR flip level of a long accumulation range, a long sell-off range, break out of that range, test it as support, bounce off there, you're testing this level again. If you get a weak bounce, you get rejected by this green box, you come back down. That's something to be probably pretty wary of, that you've tested this 2 times, you're not really able to put in the strength. In that scenario, like let's say we drop, we bounce just a green, we come back below, we test this level here. In that scenario, I would want to see this broken before I entered FTM. If we do this the 3rd time, I'm not going to be bidding this blindly. I would rather just say, look, I'm not going to open myself up to the possibility that, we defended this once with a weak bounce. We defended this twice with a weak bounce. I'm not going to be the guy that comes in here and tries to buy it on this third tag of this level. I'd rather you guys buy it, you break out, I'll defend. That's my motto. That's FTM. But looks great. Looks great. I really, really like I like the way FTM looks right now. It reminds me of DYDX. Both of those markets look fantastic. Daily 100, 200, right? Looks pretty damn good. I really think 87 cents is in the cards. It really just depends on Bitcoin and ES and all that kind of stuff. Gear, not something I'm familiar with. This is the first time I looked at it. I didn't look at this. I didn't look at this before. What you can see on a bird's eye view here: high, low, higher high, low, lower high, lower low. Break-in structure. The bullish momentum that it had for this move right here for early February is now gone. It's no longer trending as well as it once was, right? So this is not going to have the information for this. Yeah, so you've lost your H4 100, 200s as well. You're testing it as a resistance. This is not a strong market anymore, just on a bird's eye view. Let's see if there's any more price action that we can work with on here. No. Yeah, that's really all I want to say about gear. Okay, if this is sort of your listing price, on chain, I'm not going to go look up what it did on chain. This is your high that it sweeped. These are your lows. That doesn't work that well. Let's see this one. Let's do it there. These are your lows. Look for price to find support around there. That's where I'd look at, around 1.2 cents, right? Around 1 cent. It's at 15 right now. This is where I'd be looking to accumulate Gearbox. GMX, I talked about this one a lot. I actually long this one. I really like the way that GMX looks right now. Two ways I'm going to long this. Either down here, I scalp longed it, but the way that I'm going to create the swing long position is either down here at 67, 68, 69, or above these 2 red bands, above about 77, right? Why? Because it's an Arbitrum token, because it's probably the strongest Arbitrum token, because it's probably the highest market cap Arbitrum token, maybe the most fundamentally sound, yada, yada, yada. It's just generally been strong. If we look at some more price action, we can add it here. There's really only one thing to say, is that it's been range bound for a very long time. Which one has it? Which one has it? Is it CoinEx? Yes. Okay. Range bound for a very long time, broke out, retested the range, pushed higher. It is sitting on its daily trends, right, which is the H4 100, 200. right? Sitting on the daily trends, very strong at the moment, which is why I bid this. I bought it at 72. I just sold it at 76. Decent scalp trade. The reason I sold it at 76, let's come to some local price action. Is this the one? Okay, right here, let's go to the 1 hour, right? This is resistance, right? Here's your resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance, right? So as it approached that level, I took profits. If it starts breaking above here, right, I'm going to long the crap out of this. If it breaks above here, any back tests of 76, I'm longing the crap out of this. I'm going to start aiming for these highs one by one. That's the price action. I told you guys the trend, and then the last line of defense is down here for me, right around 67, 68, 69. This is the level to bid if this does break down into another leg lower. Let's say this gets rejected by the same level right here. You know, GMX gets rejected here, comes all the way down, something like that. I'd be looking to accumulate this range right here. If we lose this level, I'm not going to blindly hold all the way down. I'll cut the position. I'll wait for price to either reclaim this level to relong or reaccumulate, or travel all the way back down to 55. You guys can see the respect that GMX has had for the $55 level, right? Highs, swing fail, rejection, breakout, retest, expansion, retest, expansion, right? So if this whole thing breaks down, right, this is my first line of defense to look for longs or accumulate, and this is the second line, right? That's GMX. I really like this coin. I've been neglecting it for a very long time. It's about time I get a damn position. ICP, one of the shittiest shit coins with the worst tokenomics. If you want to be long ICP, this is the point to do it. Literally, this area right now is the place to defend ICP. If you want a continuation, if there's something going on with this coin that I don't know about, if you want a position in this coin, this is literally the place to do it. Okay, prior support, flipped resistance, deviated above, broke out strongly, found buyers, expanded, retesting this level. So this is your level to defend, around 1580. Why I'm going to say it's a little bit higher at $6 is because of the H4 100 200, right? That could make a very viable argument to defend these bands. As you can see that we did travel below these, reclaim them, and launch. Something like that could happen again. But this is your line in the sand. Basically, if you're bullish on ICP, something like this, it's going to look something like this, at least for a complacency shoulder. Maybe you don't even get that much. Maybe you get something into here. But something like this is what it's going to look like for ICP. This is the level to defend. ILV. It already looks like it put in a complacency shoulder. Let's check the 100, 200s. Okay. So it hasn't cleared the daily 200, which means that this is not yet ready to make a very big expansive move. Once you clear the daily 200s, right? Once you clear this one right here, about $100, oh, there's price action confluence too. We always love to see price action confluence. 1 second, let's highlight some stuff. Should we use that? We're going to use this one. We are going to use, yeah. Okay, so support, consolidation right around support. If you want to take the wick, you can take the wick, right? Consolidation right around there, big breakdown, held it as resistance, sell off, big pump, can't even get to the level, another pump, you're getting rejected basically by the daily 100, rejected by the daily 100, clear the daily 100, get the gap fill. This is a very nice trade, by the way. If you guys were paying attention to my watch list in January, we took so many of these daily 100 to daily 200 gap fill plays. Very, very nice play. Look at what you did. You deviated above this $88 level, you broke down, you bounced into 88, you held it as resistance, multiple days getting rejected there, sold off again. The place to bid this and defend this again is probably around $66, around the daily 100. The best case scenario is you get another push probably to 88. Sorry, A good scenario is getting another push to 88. The best scenario is you break above it, get rejected by 106, find some buyers around 88 and start expanding. The real bullish price action on ILV is going to occur once you find buyers above the daily 200. If not, right now I would say you had a really good trade. If you were in this for a while, you got about a 3x, almost a 3x if you were in from the very bottom. This pumped really, really hard. It's time for it to reconsolidate, refine buyers, and make the next leg whenever the time comes. Hopefully the daily 200 really travels below here, travels down to like $60, $70. Then it's a lot easier to flip 88 and the daily 200 together. That's your expansive move. IMX coming back to a level that should be defended by bulls, right? This was the line in the sand that we drew. We've taken some longs. We've played IMX. The daily 100 and 200 is curving upwards. That could be confluent with about 88 cents. We're sitting right around 97 cents right now. We traveled down to 91. This 88 cent level is the level to defend for IMX. Now, the bearish scenario is, look at this price action, right? You guys should start being able to see these like in plain terms, right? What you have a higher high, higher low structure, boom, 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 right? If we take off the replay, you can see how this is just basically breaking down. If this was bullish, right? If this was continually bullish, you want to see another wave and another wave, but this is unsustainable, right? When you start putting in multiples like this from 30 cents to whatever, $1.30, you get over a 3x return in 45 days. You're going to need to see this break the hell down, reaccumulate, reconsolidate into pushing for new highs. So I would say that the IMX high is in for the time being, right? And you're gonna attack these equal highs when the time comes. So what could occur here? There's plenty of ways to draw these ranges, but let's just say this is your range, right? That's your range high. Here's your range low. This could just be range bound for a little bit of time. And you can come down here. You can look to defend range low. You can play it to range mid. Maybe it comes back to range low, right? Once you build some price action in this area, right, this is healthy. That's when you can start looking for range breakouts and expansive moves upwards. But IMX, what was this? This was a ZK coin. We really pumped ZKs hard. If you look at IMX, the bearish point on IMX is basically every single pump got retraced. Every single pump was retracing, not the healthiest thing that you want to see. I believe the highs on IMX are in for a very long time. If you get a sudden like pump to here and takes the highs, that's a short trigger. That's going to be a short trigger for me. Link, Link is a spot market. I have Link bags. We've talked about this in the watch list a few times. I was defending the H4200. The H4200 confluent with the daily 100. I have bags from 6.6. I'm just holding these. I don't want to trade Link. And the reason I don't want to trade Link is simply because look at this. Like, we can ignore this. Just ignore all of this, right? Ignore all of that for now. Let's give, like, the bearish case, right? If you're really a hyper Link bull, you're going to be much more bullish than I am. But if you're just looking at this from a trading perspective, like, this is the area to attack. $18 is the area to attack. And you're going to make your way to $18 if this accumulation or if this range, whenever this range breaks to the upside. And now let's take a look at the daily 100-200, right? The daily 100-200 have gone from being an uptrend, right, to a downtrend, right? And now they're flattening out. So as they flatten out and price starts developing above the daily 100-200 and start holding the daily 100-200 as support and using that support to build towards range highs and then create a new trend, that new trend is going to take you to at least $18. And this shouldn't even be a hot take, but I believe this move right here, this 150% move, is going to outperform 95 to 98% of people in crypto. 95 to 98% of people in crypto are not going to be able to, get 150% return on their net worth if you went all in on Link today. Your risk being that it loses the range low here. 30% risk to the downside, 140% upside if you're buying here today. Link is a spot market. I don't want to overthink this one. I'm done trading Link. I don't want to trade Link anymore. I just don't care. I have my spot bags and I don't even want to care about it. One day it's going to be $18. I'm going to sell you my Link bags at $18 and I'm going to take home that money. And that's the end of story. And if you start accepting above 18, right, that's when I'm going to switch to perps. This is where I sell my spot, right? Some kind of correction is going to occur. You go above here, I start trading perps. I trade the perps to the next level. The next level on Link is going to be about $28. 18 to 28, again, very nice 56% move. You use some leverage, you get a 3, 4, 5x return on that. I mean, that beats your spot bags. But for now, why complicate an accumulation range? This is an accumulation range for me. I'm lucky enough to have bought at least 660. I didn't get obviously 550, but whatever, close enough to the bottom end of the range. If we lose the range on Link, the natural draw is going to be down to $3. Like, this is going to be pretty dramatic. This is going to be pretty tough. And then you accumulate down here. That's pretty much it. Mana. This is done. Mana's done. Mana's done. Mana's done. Had an uptrend, higher high, higher low structure. Couldn't put in a higher high. It's never been able to hold the daily 200 as support. It's kind of deviating above the daily 200. Now it's looking for the daily 100. It's dropped back below this significant level at 72 cents, or yep, 72 cents. This is a deviation of this level. I expect Mana to come all the way back down to at least 53 cents in the coming weeks. That's all there is to say about Mana. MATIC's a confusing one for me. MATIC, I wanted to be very bullish on this level. $1.30. I wanted to see buyers come in and defend $1.30. It's a very clean high time frame level. It dropped below that. It found natural support, natural low time frame price action support around this 4-hourly block, and it even dropped below the H4 200. So you can look at MATIC's respect for the H4 100 200, holding the H4 100 as support, traveling into the H4 100 200 cloud, and now dropping from trying to hold the H4 100 to dropping below it, reclaiming it, and trying to push up. I don't know if I'm that bullish on MATIC. I was bullish on MATIC for a minute there. I really thought, like, if strength wanted to show up, you're going to hold this level at 130 confluent with the H4 100 200 band, and you're going to continue pushing. But the fact that you had to drop below 130 and you underperformed, like if you were watching other altcoins like DYDX held its level that it was supposed to hold. MATIC did not hold the level that it was supposed to hold. Buyers did not come in to defend this level. They came in about 135, 138, and they didn't come in at 130, and they dropped all the way down to here. So if I want to see a MATIC continuation, there's another one of those scenarios. You break, I defend. You break 140. You break 140. You reclaim this level. You reclaim the H4 100. I'll bid into that, and we can look for higher targets. Other than that, no longer a coin that I want to trade right now. Just showing some relative weakness, in my opinion, after this big explosive top. It again had a ZK thing. Maybe that ZK thing played out. Maybe it's no longer going to be a coin that is so sought after. Maybe it puts in another one of these very strong moves all the way up to 140, right? That was that level I just mentioned, right? You break, I defend. Maybe it puts in a bounce all the way to here, right? Gets rejected by some of this supply and breaks back down. Maybe it breaks 140, right? And I try to defend it at 140 and it breaks down again, right? So, I mean, the thing I just want to draw your attention to, like I said, guys, is that was the place for bulls to come in. So I'm a little wary of that at the moment. And it's so far above the daily 100, 200s, right? It's been a strong market. In the entire bear market, MATIC has been a relative outperformer every step of the way. It finally had a very big breakout. What you don't want to see is after being rejected by this level, prior support, rejection, big breakthrough, you want to see buyers come in and defend that level. And why didn't they? That's all I want to know. Why didn't they come in to defend this? So that's just kind of a warning signal for me. It may play out. It may be a nothing burger. It may just develop price action like this and continue upwards. Yet to be seen, but not one that I'm going to be bidding at the moment. There's probably stronger markets out there. METIS looks good. METIS doesn't look terrible. Above the daily 100 200s, right? After being rejected by them for quite some time. If you guys follow the watch list, this is one that I've traded. The weeklies look great. Every attack of the $32 level has been defended. This is the first candle that looks a little weak. Price is consolidating down here below. You don't want to see that. After so many tags of this support, you really want to see a breakout, right? And you're not getting that. So that's an early warning signal. It doesn't look terrible, but that is one of the warning signals that you can see for METIS. I wouldn't be too bearish on METIS at this level, right? This is a natural place to see a bounce. Whether we see a higher high out of here or a lower high out of here is to be seen. That's yet to be seen. But what's going to be bearish is when it starts accepting back below in here. And if it does do that, that could be a reaccumulation. If you're bullish on METIS and you drop back to this $24 level, that's your reaccumulation. The next time it breaks out, you're going to be looking for it to clear 44 and 50. But yeah, this is not the place to be high time frame bearish on METIS. It's actually the time to be kind of optimistic, especially if you took some profits up here. This is not a bad place to rebuy in. Actually, it's a great place to rebuy in. The warning signal is going to be if it kind of gets rejected, puts in a lower high, and then revisits this level again. That's just you risking round tripping some profits. I would be weary next time it visits this level, especially if it puts in a lower high. Bearish. Look at the rejection of the daily 200. We've talked a lot about this. Coins that are ready to break out are breaking out above the daily 100 200. One is not one of them. Harmony is not one of them. Like I mentioned on AVAX, right? Bitcoin put in a high, a low, and a higher high, right? One put in a lower high. Bearish as hell, right? This is a lower low, this is a lower high, this is a lower low. I would look for a bounce on one to short, and I would short the crap out of this. This is actually showing more weakness than other coins, and if you're looking for coins to short for downside protection, this is going to be one of those coins to short for downside protection, right around 25 cents right here. Look for something like that to develop. Let's look at some lower time frames, actually, since we're looking at this as a bearish point of view. I almost nailed it, luckily, right? So 23 cents, right? So if it comes into here right around 23 cents, that's the place to look for shorts. Your invalidation is going to be acceptance above 25. The reason you have to have such a high tolerance for bounces is because if your downside target is going to be really low, if your downside target is going to be down here around 16 cents, you have to have a little bit of a cushion, a little bit of a buffer, at least 25 cents. But yeah, 23 is not a place to start building shorts, and I think 23 is a significant level anyways on the high time frame chart, right? So something like this. Right? Yeah, look how clean that is, right? So here you go. Here's your consolidation highs. Here is a liquidity sweep. We couldn't even tag that level. Consolidation, breakout, retest, right? Support, couldn't have put in a high, lower high, rejected by the daily 200, breakdown all the way down to the daily 100. Any bounce off this daily 100, what could be another great short trigger is if you go above this level and you fail to close above it, that could be how you define your risk. You can short this with this being your invalidation, right? A deviation over this level, the deviation high, and then you aim for this demand down here. OP. OP is really strong. For now, I'm going to compare this to a lot of ranges, right? So you have an explosive move, a big crash, a higher high, higher low, a grindy structure that only swept the highs. For me, this could be a very strong warning signal, especially after the rally that just occurred, that you know, you had everything going for OP at this moment. At that high right there, you had some Coinbase news, some other news. You had a bunch of OP stuff going on. And basically, when you have really bullish news that fails to break you out and put in a higher high and only liquidity sweeps a high, I would be pretty weary of that. So the way that I would play a continuation on one, as a trader, you break out from here, I'll defend this level, we can look for a higher high. That's all I'm going to do on one. Other than that, this could be a market short. And let me just show you a couple examples of a big, actually one example comes to mind. My best trade of last year, right? Breakout, right? Retest, reaccumulation, grindy, back to the highs. It's very small liquidity sweep, but it did sweep that high, right? It took this high right here, and look at the breakdown, right? So OP is a little bit stronger fundamental coin than whatever the hell that shit coin is, TWT. But yeah, just a warning sign for OP for now. The last time we talked about OP, it was in this chop, and I was saying that I was pretty indecisive. You know, you basically just don't want to fade the breakout of this chop. So if it broke out to the upside, you continue playing it bullishly. If you got in any part of this leg, you made money. Right? If you shorted this SFP, you made money. Right now, to me, it could be a pretty strong short. It could be a pretty strong short. OP up in this area, up around $3, especially with this SFP right here, could be a pretty strong short. Something to keep in mind. Let's create an alert. Solana. Solana is another coin. I think it's criminally undervalued compared to other shit coins, and this is a spot market. Now, this is a prayer here. If Solana breaks all the way back down to 13, I will be buying heavy spot bags with the risk of letting it drop even below here. That's a risk I'm willing to take. I made a pretty good chunk of change riding this from $13 to $25. I doubled my money on spot. I'm willing to reinvest the entire lot of that money, the doubled money. You know, double or nothing, put the entire thing back in at 13. The minute that Solana reclaims $26, I'm going to put this in log. It's easy visualization. Sorry, it's been a long video. I'm starting to get a little tired. Okay, support, right? Support, big breakdown, rejections around 26. The minute we find buyers above 26, that opens up $38 equal highs and the $48 equals highs. And look at this inefficiency. This inefficiency will not be filled until the bull market. So get that out of your system. This is not coming in 2023. At the very best, what we can hope for in 2023 is this dropping back into here, getting 26, taking this $48 high, dropping all the way back down maybe to 20, something like this, right? That's kind of the game plan, the mental framework that I have for Solana right now. You know, I don't have too much interest in trading Solana anymore. Again, look, all you did once you broke down, all you did is liquidity grab the high, and you traded all the way back down into value. So treating this as a range, that's your range high, here's your range low, you're sitting around range mid. Use some range bound trading techniques to navigate Solana for the time being if you're trading this on the 4-hourly chart or below. But as far as the high time frame goes, you know, a liquidity sweep into a point of interest, right? That's a reversal signal for me. A liquidity sweep into a point of interest after being here for 4, 5, 6 weeks, you know, looks to me like this is just distributing and is probably going to come all the way back down, you know, step by step. The very first step for this is $17. I wouldn't be surprised if we were there next month. STX, pretty sad. I'm really upset that you guys are making me cover STX. I was on this one before anyone else and fumbled the bag. I actually lost money trading this, which is just a catastrophe. And that is, you know, one of the things that that's one of the what do you call it, downsides of trading. You know, if you're bullish on something, you just buy spot and hold it. And the bullish thesis was Stacks is sort of an L2 integration for Bitcoin. It's sort of an on-chain something or another for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is having this pretty strong moment right now with ordinals that is sort of inscriptions onto Satoshis, right? So we have these kind of very authentic Bitcoin NFTs coming out, and Stacks is sort of a sympathy play or a narrative play based on that. And you guys can see how strong this green box level was as it was trading. You know, let me tell you exactly how I got chopped up, you know, just so you guys can see. So down here, I believe, right, okay, so I took a long down here around 28.30 cents. I round tripped the entire thing. I took another long, right? I cut it in this chop because I think I longed here. I came down, I longed something, I got stopped out. There was a bunch of chop in this area that just kept chopping me up, chopping me up, chopping me up, that the next time I visited this level, I was like, I don't want anything to do with it. It's just going to reject again. And then I saw this deviation and I was like, it's going to reject again. Look, it just deviated all the way above this. So much chop, right, for a trader to deal with. Very, very difficult to trade on leverage. You know, clumsy price action, really hard to trade, especially if you're going by levels and supply and demand blocks. It did not work on this coin. If you just bought some spot, you did fantastic. If you just bought some spot, you got a 2x, you got over a 2x. From here, right, I expect this to range and consolidate for some time. I expect it to come all the way down to 58 cents at some point, 55 cents, right? This is going to be your new range high. That's going to be your new range low. This is what you're going to be working with on Stacks if it's not going to just continue trending upwards. Revisiting 55, if you're bullish on Stacks, that's going to be a place to possibly pick up some, and that kind of gives you some confluence with this price action right here. If you just kind of take the top of this, right, that's kind of where Stacks is trading right now. It basically created a, let's see, maybe a weekly breaker, right? So looking at this on the weekly, right, you have all this junky price action grinding down. You blasted above and you broke above all of that. Any retest down here at 50 cents or something like that is a place to probably buy Stacks for a continuation. Stacks didn't really have a narrative in the bull market. It really didn't have a narrative. It was pushed hard by some influencers, but it really didn't have much going for it other than getting the Bitcoin maxi crowd to buy an altcoin for the first time. But this time it really does have some bullish narrative going for it, and it could continue to do really, really well in this bear market. This is just the first leg up. It's going to have a nasty correction, and then again, I speculate that it's going to put in another higher high this year in 2023. I don't think this is the 2023 high. I think this is one of those markets that could have strength against the market because the NFT scene in crypto is completely separate. Okay. Coming down to the last few coins, Sushi, again, another spot market for me, just like Link, just like Stacks. I'm not going to trade this anymore. I bought spot bags before that I cut, and I'm going to rebuy now. Probably today, probably tomorrow, and I'm going to buy spot Sushi from 133, even if it goes all the way down to 90 cents again, and I'm going to allow this to play out the way that I think it will. I think that you're going to get a move on Sushi in 2023 all the way up to $2.70, $3. I think that's coming this year. I don't think there's any sellers left of this coin, right? This has gone through everything. It's gone through all the crap, and it's just ranging down here, and it's getting rejected by the daily 200. Once you find buyers above the daily 200, above mid-range, like look at all this price action it's taken. Sorry, that's a really horrible line. I'm using a laptop. All this price action has taken place really below mid-range, right? The minute you start finding buyers above here, buyers above the 200, the daily 200, that really opens up a lot of stuff. That really opens up $1.80, $2.08, and this block right here that's probably a daily block. Yeah, daily block, right around $2.27. So that's, you know, potentially a 2x in the making just on spot if you guys can weather a little bit of volatility. I really like Sushi. I think it's fundamentally pretty good. They revamped the tokenomics. Should do well. SYN, Synapse. So this is a bridge. I don't know why it has a coin. I think the top on Syn is in for now. Unfortunate. But I really think the top is in for now. What you can do if this breaks down, right? Defend down here, right around $1. The breakout will come. If the breakout comes, this is probably going to 240, right? So that's kind of your target right here. If you can defend the daily 100, 200 and get an entry around there, you're looking at a 2x on spot. That's my high time frame view. But look at what this did, right? You had this massive bounce, and that bounce, all it did was clear out all these highs, right? You had a massive bounce on Synapse. All it did was take out all these highs, close back inside, and revert the entire pump. That is top signal stuff. That is, sellers are here. Sellers are here to sell 166. Buyers are probably, they're coming in to defend. If you want a position at 133, take a position at 133. I'm sure that's confluent with, the H4 100, 200. You want to defend these, defend these. If it breaks down, the next level to defend is down here, right? Right around $1. You got the $1 mental level, you got mid-range, you got the daily 100, daily 200. Build some price action in here, put in support right here. The next time you test these levels, the next time you break out, 240s in the cards. TRX, is this Tron? This is who is suggesting Tron? Why is Tron doing? Oh my God. So Tron is doing well because this guy, I'm forgetting his name right now because I'm tired. The clown of crypto, the guy that can't be defeated, the guy that will never lose in this game no matter what's happening, is completely pivoting his coin to whatever narrative is hot at the moment. He's latching onto the ZK narrative. He's latching onto the Chinese narrative. He's latching onto the AI narrative. He's buying his own shitcoin to make price action look good. It's weathered the storm. It's been one of the strongest shitcoins in the bear market simply because no one is trading TRX. Trust me when I say this, no one is trading TRX. No one owns TRX. Don't be a fool. I mean, look, man, he did the stablecoin thing. What was it? The algorithmic stablecoin when the stablecoin was hot. He did the AI thing. He's doing all the things, man. I don't know. TRX is one I want to stay away from. I'm not going to cover it. VELO, if I'm not mistaken, VELO is an Arbitrum token. Maybe that's VELA. That might be VELA. No. VELO might be something else. Okay, quite a damn sell-off. All right, it's tagging right now. It's tagging the daily 200. This is a place to be pretty cautious. Let's see if there's any price action. Yeah. So you've got... Let's wait for this to load. No price action. This was accumulation. This is a heavy accumulation. Yeah, this is heavy accumulation down here. This is probably going to be the first area to de-risk. I don't know what's going on with VELO. These coins are hard for me to chart. Doesn't really fit into my system too well when things just go in one direction, no pullbacks. After going down probably 99%. 99.9%. What do you guys think? 99.94%. So this coin went down 99.94% and is now bouncing and doing a 14x, 15x. Yeah, man. I don't have much to say about VELO other than if you're in on this leg, congratulations, you made a lot of money. The daily 200 is being tagged right now. That's usually a place to take profits. So if you haven't done so and you've been in from the daily 100 and you're riding this, decent place to take profits. Yeah, not much to say. Something that goes in a straight line like this for 5, 6x, something fundamental going on that I can't comment on. All right. XRP. XRP looks like crap. XRP had its moment in the sun. This is a news-based coin. This is a narrative-based coin. This is not a price action coin. This is not a coin to trade for price action. Look what it does. It just chops around. It goes with the market. If Bitcoin's going up, it's going to go up. If Bitcoin's going down, it's going to go down. Other than that, it just chops around and it waits for news. News comes, it pumps like crazy. When the news is out and it pumps, then you can use these price action signals. Then it responds very well to SMC concepts, everything like that. But other than that, how are you going to trade this? If you're bullish on XRP, it's an accumulation range. Try to buy as close to 30 cents as possible. 37 cents isn't the worst place to buy if you're high time frame bullish on XRP. I'm not going to be accumulating this coin. I could care less about what XRP is doing. I'm not going to trade this. I rarely ever trade this for news anyways. I'm not a news-based trader, so I usually miss the pumps. And there's only one thing left for me to do, and that's to short the coin. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about XRP. I already have the range drawn out for you guys here. It's being rejected by the daily 100-200, right? So not really in bullish structure as far as momentum goes. Excuse me, as far as trend goes. And then Wi-Fi, very strong. Very strong. A late bloomer LDO. They just pivoted and they have LSD. They have a liquid staking derivative basket product, I believe. Like they're combining all of the other LSD products into one basket, sort of as like an ETF to get exposure to all of those markets in one place. That's a fantastic product, I believe. If this continues, the natural target is going to be like around 14,000. There is one ahead of that right here, right? So 11,000 to 14,000. This is the place that I think it's going to top at 11,361. It could also top right here too. Let's see. Yeah, this could be a place too. Oh wait, it's already there. It's already there. $10,000 psychological level. Why did I switch it? Just a quick tidbit if you guys are still watching this video. Why did I switch it? This is an SFP. This is a daily SFP. This is your high, right? This is trading into the high to try to break out, getting capped by this supply, wicking, closing below, attempting to close, attempting to claim that level, can't do it, sell off, start a high time frame reversal. So this is really your level at $1,000. We've already tagged that. We're trading above it. This could be a market to short. Why do I say that? Big breakdown, right? Traded back into this level. You're finding resistance, finding sellers in this area. If you do something like OP and you trade above this level and you start closing below it, that's a bearish trigger for me. That's going to be something that I short, with my invalidation being here, my entry being as soon as you reclaim the range, over and under, take the liquidity, use a high time frame level as your confluence, start aiming back for here. What this could end up doing is creating a nice range up the top. So let's get rid of some of these. Okay, so that's already taken care of the high. Let's assume this is your range low, right? And then let's say this is your range mid, right? So something like that. So SFP the highs, SFP the highs like this, drop back in, look for confluent price action to TP. Like this is a lot of demand right here if it's pushing up. If it breaks down, that's going to be called supply. And then let's put on the H4 100, 200. These are so far down below, so far down below. So the next time these catch up, right, wherever that may be, this would be an area to bid Wi-Fi for me, something like that, right? Yearn Finance. This would be a place to bid Yearn Finance. Other than that, I'm looking for SFP plays. And let's actually put... And that's going to do it for this video, guys. That was the last one on the list. So, just to recap real quick, if you guys are still with me in this video, I'm cautious on markets. I think that we do have a bounce coming in. I think we're going to have to reset the entire thing. ETH is our sort of risk market leader. It really failed to do anything above this level. It distributed, it broke down. Reclaiming 1680, since it's our risk market indicator, reclaiming 1680 would be very bullish. Reclaiming 1680 would get me to take a long to 1788, and we're just going to play it like that. We really haven't lost any high time frame levels yet. High time frame moving indicators yet. We haven't lost the daily 100, 200s. We haven't lost the H4 100, 200s. So we're still technically in a trend, but there are some high time frame warning signs popping up price action wise. I'm speculating on a trend reversal, or at least the formation of a range to occur. I'm speculating on a lower high to be put in across all markets pretty much at the moment. I'm also speculating on short term, what allows Bitcoin to give you that complacency shoulder, that last high, that third push, the third drive, more bearish PA to put in, is if DXY gives us a little bit of relief here, right? If DXY gives us a little bit of relief, that'll allow markets to push in, put in kind of complacency shoulders, give us something to short. We'll look at things, look at how things develop from there. But for now, a lot of stuff is on support. And if it's on support, you can bid it on support and you can play the bounce. The bounce can either give you a lower high. If it clears sort of all those breaker boxes that I talk about, you can play the continuation. That's how I'm going to play these coins, guys. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Leave a like if you guys are still watching this video. Leave a comment if you watched the entire thing. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. See you guys next week.